Tonight, the Great Wall facing a $75 million loss after poor runs in theaters. Avengers 3 and 4 may cost about $1 billion, says Marvel. And the Academy fires the set dressers and accountants behind the Best Picture mix-up. Suicide Squad won an Oscar? Ha! Crazy stuff. And the star, the legend, Bill Paxton. We discuss his memory and honor his recent death. And we'll talk a little bit about the Nintendo Switch and its situation with cartridges. Do they taste weird? Do they taste like earwax? Well, we'll bring you the news. And finally, we'll discuss Kong Skull Island, coming out next week. There's a lot of crazy information going on with that, and it wouldn't be an episode of The Dark Side if we didn't bring you some of that news. Here we are. Welcome to The Dark Side. Hey there, everybody. It's your host, Chandler Pulaski, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Dark Side. Unfortunately, it's such a sad night. I'm unfortunately all alone. My boys, my precious children, Matt and Alex, have gone away. Alex is actually going off to do some cool army stuff. He's gonna go save the country. And Matt is checking out a pretty cool sounding concert. So hopefully next time on The Dark Side, we'll get to talk a little bit about that and see how that's going. So for now, we'll get into a bit of our movie news that we discussed earlier. As we discussed in our intro, the movie The Great Wall, featuring who is it here? I always forget. Matt Damon? Oh, poor Matt. The Great Wall featuring Matt Damon is seeing some heavy losses. Apparently, when you screw around with historical facts in such a manner, it might come back to bite you in the butt. It looks like they're looking at a $75 million loss. That is crazy amounts of money. And honestly, surprising for a movie like this. Honestly, movies like this have a tendency to do very well in foreign markets, outside of the United States, of course. But something happened here, and apparently you can't sell tickets in China when you disgrace their culture, their history, or something like that. I can't even understand. But according to ScreenRant.com, we have this article from Dana Getz. Across his 2-decade career, Matt Damon has proven to be a bankable box office star. In the last few years alone, The Martian opened with $54.3 million in 2015, and his Jason Bourne return in 2016 made $59.2 million during its first 3 days. But his most recent vehicle, The Great Wall, has failed to pick up the same kind of momentum. It earned a solid but lower than anticipated $225 million overseas. And the Zhang Yimou directed action epic has floundered domestically. It's notched a lackluster $34.8 million in North America. That is hilariously low for you non-movie buffs out there. Not butts. Butts. And its overwhelmingly poor critical reviews won't help knock it back into public favor. Industry pundits have already tied its disappointing returns to a less than promising future for U.S.-China co-productions. An unfortunate outcome considering its $135 million price tag. It makes it the most expensive production shot entirely in China for one of these productions. It's a really sad loss for such a big production. But honestly, what could you expect with the hilarious plots like these? Next up, we're going to go to another Screen Rant article by Dan Zinski. Avengers 3 and 4 budget may cost Marvel $1 billion. Everybody do your Dr. Evil look. With studio tentpoles becoming bigger and more extravagant, the budgets for Marvel's Avenger movies are going through the roof. Once upon a time, a movie costing $100 million was considered a big deal. In 2007, when Titanic's budget... I don't think that's 2007. I think that's early 90s. When Titanic's budget topped $200 million, folks thought things were maybe getting out of hand. Nowadays, $200 million is nothing for a big studio movie. And it's not unheard of for a film to top the $300 million mark. With special effects becoming more elaborate all the time, it doesn't seem like studios are going to back off trying to pack their big-ticket movies with as much visual spectacle as possible. And that's only going to cause budgets to keep ballooning. In the next few years, Avengers Infinity War and its sequels are expected to shoot right past any previous budgetary high watermark and set a new standard for spending. Clearly, not a surprise when you're dealing with a now Disney franchise and a popular comic book entity. If you make a comic book movie, it's basically guaranteed to succeed. But effects, it sounds like they're going to be effects heavy, which I am pretty excited for. It could be an interesting adventure. It makes you wonder exactly what they're going to do. It's pretty easy to anticipate what's going to happen in these movies sometimes based on the dollar signs alone coming through the effects budget. I mean, if you consider the Star Wars movies, I believe Rogue One actually boasted a very low effects budget. And that's not surprising because the movie was really, really not very effects heavy, like computer-generated effects, I mean. There were a lot of physical effects and things that probably costed them quite an arm and a leg, but still, some movies, if you see a very small budget for your special effects, you're looking at a very well-made, probably a more narrative-driven thing. But this Avengers movie, a big effects budget might mean big fights. So look out for that in the next coming couple of years. And, did you guys check out the Oscars this year? Oh, boy. Oh, well, when Best Picture came up to the board, who was it that pulled that? I've got an article from ScreenRant.com by Chris Agar. Some of these names sound kind of made up. I'm not going to lie. Let's see. Who the presenters Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway read the Best Actress card once again when they found that they were reading La La Land for Best Picture, but for some reason Emma Stone's name was just below that. Quite confusing. And unfortunately, the situation wasn't rectified until after the director of La La Land came up and gave his speech to the entire Oscar audience. But thankfully, he graciously returned the award, and things were quickly put back into order. But with such a crazy and huge kind of flop, the backlash is going to be immense. And it seems that the accountants who were in charge of setting up all the awards and the cue cards and things were fired immediately after this event. So that's really this is a situation in entertainment you cannot stop the Oscars. It's just something that doesn't happen. And when something this huge comes up and your credit is right under the big oopsie spot, you're gonna feel it later on. These folks probably got fired. I couldn't even imagine an hour at the show. It's going to be pretty hard to get back on their feet. I wish them luck, but it seemed like a very minor thing, honestly. I mean, especially when you could see that it was the award for Best Actress. You could tell. Just nobody read the front, so maybe it's a sign actors should pay attention to what they're reading and what they're holding. Maybe something along those lines. Professors should take responsibility for their performance. I don't know. Well, we don't need to get into that discussion tonight. And speaking of Oscars, Suicide Squad won an Oscar. Granted, it was only for best makeup, but even then, I don't think Joker's tattoos deserve an Oscar award. Say what you will about the relevance of Oscar awards and film awards in general. It's still, nothing about that movie deserved an award, honestly. And the makeup, it's superhero movie makeup. There's nothing crazy you can do. It's not insane that the Joker's wearing tattoos and his makeup, he's got wearing makeup. That's something that happens in every single one of these movies. It's not something that could really praise. I've seen some work from a couple of other movies that lost the Oscar ticket that looked absolutely fantastic. We're talking about physical, we're talking about makeup pieces that are so intricate and so fantastic that lost the bid somehow. And I guess it's a popularity contest when you've got the most friends sitting on the Oscar committee. You're probably gonna get the award. Hey, Joe, listen, I'll work forever on this here Suicide Squad, and you think you could slip us one award? Oh, geez, Frank, I don't think your movie was that good. I give it a 4 out of 10, honestly, and that's a pretty arbitrary kind of number. Listen, Frank, it's a big budget, and nobody's gonna stop making Batman. All right, we'll give you best makeup or something. That's how I imagine that conversation went down. It was just a mess. Now let's get into the sadder side of things. I remember I had woken up one morning, checked Twitter, and a number of people were saying farewell to the dearly departed Bill Paxton. Let me pull up his IMDb. You may know Bill Paxton for his role in Twister, Aliens, and even a few of the recent television hits like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you don't remember, I believe Bill played the leader of the new Hydra movement in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. television show. And it's insanely sad. According to IGN.com, Paxton bid the world farewell after a situation with a surgery gone wrong, basically. And there was a mistake, and unfortunately, Mr. Paxton passed away on February 25th at the age of 61. He had just recently finished up The Circle, which is now in post-production, and he had a very, very large part in the new Training Day TV series that is currently out. And it's a very sad day to see such a wonderful actor move on in such a sudden way. We wish Bill the best wherever he is. And with that, we're going to take a quick music break and maybe even a moment of silence for Bill. There we go. We're going to play some music here about Chicago by Frank Sinatra. Coming up, you're listening to The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. Welcome back to The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. Did everyone have a wonderful week? Did you? Oh, that's good. That's great. Now, we're going to talk about a very touchy subject for tonight. It just rots some people to their core. It drives some to insanity. As people are standing out like zombies in the cold right now in lines, in droves, just for the Nintendo Switch. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight is the release night of the Nintendo Switch. Official release is coming out about midnight, depending on your time zone. And we got a couple of people out tonight, sitting out in front of GameStops and Walmarts and Best Buys, just waiting to get their hands on the Nintendo Switch. Personally, I'm not very excited about this thing. It looks like a fine console that's trying to do something a little bit new. But one of the things it's trying to do that's a little bit new is offensive tastes. That's right. The game cartridges for the Nintendo Switch come with a built-in offensive taste that is meant to ward off youngsters from accidentally swallowing the device. It's quite ingenious when you think about it. What kind of kid is going to sit there and suck on a Nintendo cartridge when it tastes like earwax? Quite offensive. Hopefully it will save lives. It's becoming a trend that people who have gotten early shipments of the Nintendo Switch have been trying their cartridges. And it's the reactions are quite funny. In fact, I'm watching one from Polygon. Oh, yes, this guy. Oh, he says no, and it's in his mouth. It sticks with you. Yeah, very, very disgusting. And it seems the Nintendo Switch is going the way of the Nintendo DS and some of its smaller handheld consoles with these new cartridges. I like that a lot. I mean, moving away from discs, that's been a goal for everyone for a while now. Nintendo's been trying to do it since the GameCube. You know, they've been trying to shrink everything down to a very, very small, back to cartridges, which were very, I'd say, in their prime, they were not so convenient. But now that they've basically done what everybody's been saying they should do, like take an SD card with a massive amount of storage and just put a game onto it, it seems like it's going to really, really, really do well. But this new security, what we'll call it a safety mechanism, is not necessarily concerning as many people as I thought it would. The fact that, number one, people are, for some reason, tasting the Nintendo cartridges. I don't even know if that was something Nintendo put out in a press release. If you're listening, go ahead and tweet at Pilot Shorts. That's at Pilot Shorts. If you have any knowledge about why the Nintendo Switch, did the Nintendo put out some sort of call about the Switch cartridges having some weird taste to them? Let us know in the chat or on the Mixler chat here or on Twitter. All right. One of the things that we found out in our research from this Polygon article, we did a lot of research on this one. The cartridges are covered in denatonium benzoate, which is a bitter chemical compound, one of the most bitter chemical compounds known to humanity, I guess, according to this Polygon article. It's widely used as an aversive agent, an additive that discourages ingestion by making a substance taste so bad that you'll immediately want to spit it out. I bet the Nintendo cartridge challenge is going to be one of the next big videos of the year. How long can you keep it in your mouth before you want to, vom? Ooh, not good. But one thing I found that's very interesting is agents like these, not necessarily this denatonium benzoate, but agents like these are often used in products that are poisonous to human beings. Not that a Nintendo cartridge is not poisonous, but still. It's used in antifreeze, paint, and household solvents. It's also used in alcohol, certain types of alcohol that you use for binding wounds and things like that. And And I lost my track of where I was. And it's also used in certain kinds of nail polish to keep you from biting your fingers, I guess, which is very interesting. It brings up, is this a health hazard? What if somebody does actually swallow this? Because I'm no chemist, and I'm not a doctor. I can't answer these questions. I don't know. But I'd like to know whether or not these are actually safe. I know they're supposed to prevent people from, ingesting these things, but what happens if they are, in fact, ingested and it's still coated in the benzoate? Interesting questions that should be brought up. You should always ask. Ask questions about everything. Question everything. If you're one of 10 people and 9 of them say, yes, this is a good idea, be the 10th person and be the person who says, no, we need to look into this further. Further, I say. But yeah, the Nintendo Switch, looking pretty interesting. I know a lot of people are excited for Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. It seems like a fabulous new thing coming out. But we don't know. We don't know how it's going to go. Honestly, a lot of first-time reviews for the Nintendo Switch have been overall positive, honestly. Everything's been going pretty well. The game's been running all right for most people. Plugging console in and just playing it from the shelf is fine. I haven't heard a lot of reviews of people taking it on the road yet, though. And I've heard that in certain instances, battery life might be just a little too short. Not something you want to take for a day trip, and if you're taking a train ride somewhere, who's doing that nowadays, honestly? Or if you're taking a plane somewhere that's going to take 16 hours, not necessarily the thing you want on those trips. But if you're riding across town in a taxi and you want to pull it out and play Legend of Zelda for a couple of minutes, go right ahead. Maybe we'll talk about that later. I'll go look at some reviews. That'll be interesting. Now, we're going to talk about, I know, I bring it up every week, ladies and gentlemen. It's my passion. It's my baby. It's Kong Skull Island. And apparently, for a lot of reviews coming out right now, we've got a lot of early press releases saying that it's a very good monster movie. It's a fantastic King Kong movie. It's got action. It's got the big monster carnage that people really, really love. And, it's Kong. He's back. He's big. He's powerful. And he's on his way to fight Godzilla. Yep. And the recent reveal by some of these early screenings, Kong Skull Island has an awesome post-credit scene, according to ScreenRant.com and Cooper Hood. I've actually, yes, I'm a horrible human being. I have looked at the spoilers. I've seen the end credits scene to Kong Skull Island. Oh no, damn me to the deepest, darkest pits of heck, as one Matt Steele would say. He really doesn't like it when I read the spoilers and things. He thinks I have the unique ability to shut my brain off when I watch movies. It's really crazy. I could do it right now, and actually. Who are you? Why are you sitting here? Get out. Somebody's sitting here in this chair over here, not saying a word. Just sitting there watching me. Waiting, watching, waltzing, waiting. Anyway, back to Kong. There's an interesting end credit scene, and I guess this new monster universe, including Godzilla from Legendary Pictures, is going the way of Marvel, adding post-credit scenes to set up for their movies. In fact, they're setting up for their next movie, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Really interesting way to fall back on old ways, but in the supposedly in the post-credit scene, we get a teaser for a couple of interesting creatures that belong in Godzilla lore from way back, way back. A little bit of a creature called Mothra, one called Rodan, and one called King Ghidorah, all officially added to the Monsterverse, the legendary Monsterverse, as it's been called. and a very interesting. The movie's very interesting. There has been a demand for many years for a monster movie that takes place in the Vietnam era. It's just an interesting era where what if we were directed at an all-powerful, super destructive enemy rather than fighting amongst ourselves at this period in time with all of these bombs, these scenes of helicopters flying in, and the power of the American war engine, that thing. It's just fighting a giant monster. How much cooler could it get? And apparently in Kong Skull Island, it gets pretty freaking cool. So I can't wait to see that. I'll definitely give everybody my review after I see it, hopefully next week or the week after. I just can't wait. I've been waiting for so long. It's like a birthday present. It's like my birthday present, because that's coming soon. The person sitting in the background has a voice, apparently. And they feel they just need to scream whenever they want. Whenever they want. Just like that. It's crazy. Whatever. Anyways, yeah. The legendary Monsterverse is probably looking after I'm seeing success for Kong. They're looking at 2 more movies. One, Godzilla King of the Monsters, the sequel to the hit 2014 film Godzilla. And then one more sequel in 2020, Godzilla vs. Kong. Or Godzilla vs. King Kong, however they're going to word that. It'll be definitely interesting. So be sure to stay in your seats when the movie ends and the credits roll, because you won't want to miss this end credit scene for anything. Not anything. You won't want to go to the bathroom. You don't want to get up. You don't want to go refill your popcorn because you want to eat it on the way home. You don't want to fill up that drink. You got the large drink. You can hold on to it for 2 more seconds, okay? All right. We're going to take another... Wait, I can't take another music break. I haven't done the thing that's most important in my life. Reading the updates. So, we have a couple of updates for tonight. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, that if you're listening and you are not already a member of Cardinal Radio, how could you not? We're probably one of the best RSOs on the SVSU campus. Our meetings are Monday nights at 7 p.m. in the Alumni Lounge here at SVSU. It's a lot of fun. Join up. Help us out. Join a committee if you're not into the old on-air thing. And shout out to our Twitter at SVSU Radio. Tweet at SVSU Radio if you want to talk to the entire group, but tweet at Pilot Shorts if you really want to talk to us, especially Matt. Matt loves the Twitter. He loves the twatter. Talk to Matt on the twatter. I should find his twatter so you all can talk to him on the twatter. And also check out our Facebook page, Cardinal Radio. Cardinal Radio on Facebook. Yeah, check it out. Not much more than that. And the next show, I don't even know if the next show is going to happen tomorrow. And the next show for tomorrow is, I believe, let me see. I got to check the schedule. I never know. I could never figure it out. Yeah, the next show for tomorrow is Culture Shock. So if you're into the entire, Japan, Korean culture, go ahead and check that out. It's very interesting. You get some K-pop, some J-pop, and some news straight from the countries. And the Valley Nights movies of the week are, I believe, La La Land, playing right now. Or maybe not right now, but playing in about 15 minutes at 10 p.m. Go check it out. Run, fly, watch it. It almost won Oscar for Best Picture. And the next movie will be Office Christmas Party tomorrow at 9. Go check that out, I guess. I don't even know what that is. And remember, we have new members with new shows. So be sure to check out our weekly calendar and see if there's any new shows on cardinalradio.com. And listen in. Support our talent here. Everybody's so talented. And you might just find your new favorite thing to listen to. And our show of the week? Show of the week. We'll call show of the week. We'll give it to Tangents and Tangerines. I don't think they have tangents, and I don't think they have tangerines. We're going to have to fix that someday. And, be sure to check out the drag show. Ooh. April 1st at 7 p.m. in the TSAR. What? Oh, it's not interesting?
It's funny.
You're not interested?
You're like, ooh.
Who's not interested? This will be a very interesting day. That's the drag show, April 1st at 7 p.m. in the TSAR here on the SVSU campus. Check it out, and if you're feeling comfortable, I'm sure it's going to be a very good time. All right. Now we're going to go take another little music break, and we'll be right back with fun conversation and whatnot. You're listening to The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. Here comes Dwayne Eddy with Cannonball. We'll be right back. Hey, we're back with The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a special treat for you tonight. We're going to talk to our dearest Vice President of Cardinal Radio, Ricardo Quintanilla, about the upcoming Nintendo Twitch release. Did I say Twitch? Switch? The Nintendo Switch release. All right, we're going to give him a call right here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to call him. Here it comes. Here we are. Late.
Hey.
Hello there, Mr. Quintanilla. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Am I on air right now?
We'll see. Why don't you speak up for us a little bit?
Am I on your phone or am I on the computer?
I've got you. I'm attempting to have you hooked up to the computer, but may or may not be working because this aux cord is rather lousy.
But I'm through your phone right now. You're not calling me through the computer.
I've got you hooked up through the aux cord.
Okay, cool. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna put you on hold. I'm gonna mute my mic because I gotta plug the phone into charge and I gotta connect these headphones. Okay.
All right.
So I'm gonna keep it connected, but give me just a second.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to get Mr. Ricardo on the computer Facebook instead, and we'll see if we have a better connection through that. So in the meantime, well, I'll talk about my upcoming project. Boy, it's gonna be a doozy. Now, if you recall your sorry, I was distracted. Recall your Dark Side lore. You'll remember that a long while ago, on a dark, stormy night, myself, Mr. Mazzoni, and Mr. Steely came up with the design for the ultimate movie. It had everything: action, romance, Kermit Le Frog. Well, Jesus, there's too many complicated things. Too many things. Facebook is too complicated. But we came up with an interesting idea. An adventure of titanic proportions. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We've begun work on our Titanic adventure. I'm putting it under the working title Titanic Universe. The plot sets us on the Titanic 4, a special spacefaring vessel flying through the universe on its first voyage to Venus, when it's suddenly thrust through a black hole. Our main characters, Dear Captain Craig Fragan, the first mate, Jimmy Wilson, and the second mate, Natalie Williams, all preparing for the ride of their life as they travel through wormholes across the universe, battling monsters on the greatest ship ever known. Quite a fantastic ride, if I do say so myself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue our call with Mr. Ricardo Quintanilla. Oh, we can hear that loud and clear, can't we? How doth I turn it down? He ignored our call. Well, Mr. Quintanilla, that I don't quite appreciate that. He ignored our call again. I don't appreciate this very much. I'm gonna cry. Wait, he's on the Facebook now. Could he be trying to transmit some sort of message? The dots are cycling. Perhaps we try the call again? It's ringing, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Mr. Quintanilla.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear, sir.
Cool. Am I clear?
You're about as clear as you're going to get.
Beautiful.
How are you today, sir?
I am fantastic. How's your day going, Mr. Belofsky?
Well, it's doing just fine indeed. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch tonight, sir. How are you feeling about that?
I'm feeling amazing.
I
can't wait. There was a decent line at Best Buy, and there was a fairly decent line at Meijer.
Are you currently in one of those lines?
You there? Hello?
Are you currently in one of those lines?
I am not, because I have mine reserved at GameStop, so I don't need to wait in line.
I see.
Okay,
Well,
so
what are you most expecting from the new release?
from the new release, I'm the most hyped up for Zelda Breath of the Wild, but eventually there's a lot of speculation about other games that are coming out for it. One of which is Super Smash Bros., which was released on the 3DS, but it was also released on Wii U, in which case it has a whole ton of DLC at this point, and I'm hoping Nintendo will work with me and let me transfer my stuff over, but that's one of the things that I'm most hyped up for, that and Mario Kart, which I spoke actually to a Nintendo rep that was in GameStop the other night, and he said that Mario Kart should be an April release.
Really?
Yeah.
Now,
So April, I know there was another game called ARMS that should either be the end of the month or April, and that's that's semi-boxing, semi-Mortal Kombat, but customizable. I know Splatoon 2 was another really interesting one that was in a lot of trailers, and it actually should be. I know a lot of producers for games call the summer the game suicide or the game drought, but Splatoon in itself can hold its own, and it's supposed to be coming out over the summer as well. So that should be very interesting to see how that works out.
well, this is certainly an exciting time for Nintendo fans across the planet. What is really the most attractive thing about the Switch at this point?
About the Switch, this is going to sound biased because I do have a minute or two of experience with the Switch. When I was in there at GameStop, the Nintendo rep actually did have a real Switch with him. He wouldn't let me turn it on because of legality and games that he's allowed to play in the wild, quote. But It feels, honestly, very comfortable in the hands, and it has a... Have you ever held a Nintendo Wii U Pro controller?
No, I have not.
Well, have you ever had maybe Wii U gamepad?
No, I have not.
What about an Xbox One controller? Come on, you're helping
Yes,
me
I
make me
have.
dig
Yes,
here.
an Xbox One
Okay.
controller is up my alley.
Okay, so Xbox One controller, think of that, but, the control sticks. Control sticks and then a PS4 triggers on it. And everything else is just buttons like, I would say on the PS4 about. Or maybe on the Wii U as well.
Really? Well,
So it's a really comfortable controller. It's skinny, but it's really comfortable, so...
Now, I've heard rumors that the battery life, not only on the Switch itself, but even the Joy-Con controllers, as they're being called, is not the best. How do you feel about this?
That is true and not true all on its own, because in its own, the battery life depends on what you're playing and how hard you're playing it. If you have the volume maxed out, the brightness maxed out, and you're playing one of the hardcore games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you're playing it on the go, not docked on the TV, then it would give you about a maximum of maybe 2.5 hours. But at the same time, it's been seen with minimum specs up to 6 hours with Breath of the Wild. So it just really depends on how you play it. So it depends on what game you're playing, and really depends on what you're doing to it. It does have a proprietary internet browser, so I couldn't tell you how much, again, because he wouldn't let me try it in the store, but it was still really cool.
Well,
It was really comfortable in the hands. Without the Joy-Cons, I would say it did look like about an Android tablet, to say. But the operating system itself, from what I've seen on YouTube videos, is really, really smooth.
I've heard differing rumors. Just before we came back from our music break to call you, we read a review stating that not only in certain capacities is the Nintendo Switch failing to run at a full 30 frames a second, especially with the this article came from IGN, that it is having a hard time keeping up with its 30 frame per second graphics, but also when encompassed by different things like particles and physical effects, it really slows down. How do you feel about that?
Those, again, I just from the Nintendo rep and from things that I've seen, just the videos that I have seen, I believe there was one guy that was, can I say ballsy on the air? I mean, he had enough courage to actually attempt to stream it. And he had a capture card just plugged into it.
It is after 10 o'clock, so.
Yeah. He had a USB Type-C adapter on it. It was really funky, wonky, but yeah, he's not exactly allowed on the internet currently. But he should be, again, when it comes to release dates, Nintendo's really finicky about that. A lot of things that people have been posting on the internet about the Switch actual gameplay that isn't approved by them, they've been taking down with copyright.
I see.
But to get back to your question of the frame rates, there hasn't been too many. Any sort of issues while it's in the wild, while it's on the go. But when it's connected to the dock, it's 1080p. It's honestly one of the top games. I mean, they're saying it's right up there with the Xbox One and the PS4, but I would say going any further than that would be a stretch. But again, the fact that you can take it on the go and have it run at as high of a quality as it does is impressive in its own.
Right. And the specially flavored cartridges. We had a
Oh yeah, I've heard about that one. The cartridges.
apparently coated with a special, hopefully
yeah,
non-toxic.
I don't remember the name of that chemical. That one, it's actually, they make it so that way it helps with biting your fingernails. A lot of doctors put it on so that way it helps with any sort of fingernail biting, habit forming like that. And it's honestly one of the bitterest chemicals in the world, from my understanding. But again, in the quantities they're putting it on these cartridges, even in high quantities like they do, and it's not toxic at all. So you can go ahead and swallow it all you want, and it's safe for children.
You heard it from the source, ladies and gentlemen. Swallow as many Nintendo cartridges as you can.
Exactly. Yeah.
One is not enough. Put as much Zelda in your body as you can.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way it should be. In and around your mouth.
I've also heard a rumor. This one not so widely dispersed, but from a single reviewer.
Got a lot of rumors.
I've heard one of the controllers, the Joy-Con, has a problem with connecting farther than 10 feet.
It's not. I know where you're going with that one. The distance itself isn't a problem, but getting to the desync problem, and where you're getting these rumors from, I know a lot of YouTubers have been making their own assumptions, but these YouTubers also have setups of their own where they've got 8 or 9 different computers going, let alone consoles and wireless things going on. And they did actually work on fixing it in the day one update patch. And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh no, it's not." Well, maybe you shouldn't have 100 different Bluetooth devices running. I mean, that'll screw up your phone signal, let alone a Nintendo Switch Joy-Con. So, I mean, it's really hard to say because, again, I'm not going to find out for another few hours. But the desync problem isn't as big as everyone's hyping it up to be.
All right, we can't wait to hear your review. Maybe we'll have you on next time on the dark side, and we'll talk. We'll chat more about the Nintendo Switch. We'll talk.
Yeah, it sounds great. I can give you my impressions on Breath of the Wild too, and if any other games come out on the eShop by then, I can let you know.
Excellent. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, we're not totally towards the end of the show yet, but remember, if you tune into the next dark side, not next week, but the week after.
I do know about spring break.
The week after. We're having our spring break, so we're going to take a break. But not this week, but next week, the week after, we will be talking about Skull Island, and we will be talking about the Nintendo Switch and Zelda Breath of the Wild with our special guest, Ricardo Quintanilla.
Yes, sir. You heard it here on CardinalRadio.com.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. We're going to take a quick music break, and then we'll be right back with our closing remarks. Thank you once again, Rico, for popping in.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
All right, we're gonna tune into. What are we gonna listen to right now? We'll put on Who Put the Bump in the Bump-a-Bump. You're listening to The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on The Dark Side on Cardinal Radio. For those of you who have been keeping up with us on YouTube, we thank you so much for your continued patronage and viewership and subscribableness. And we regret to inform you that this may be one of the last recorded Dark Sides for a while. This will definitely close out Season 1 of what we're calling The Dark Side, end of Season 1, Season 1 finale. Finale point 1. That's what we'll call it. Hopefully we will record more Dark Sides. It just depends on who wants to edit and who wants to upload and whether or not we really want to go through the effort. Otherwise, if you still want to keep track of all of our doings, just join us Thursdays, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on CardinalRadio.com for all of your Dark Side needs. We're keeping it creepy. We're keeping it grand over here. I'm watching a little bit of Let's Play on the computer just to keep my mind at ease. We'll talk to people like Rico and Matt and Alex. We'll do on-site interviews. We'll do creepypastas, hopefully. And please, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, tell us what you think. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, and spread the word. We love bringing in new faces, new names to our fandom. We really love all of you. You make us feel special. So special. I'm just trying to kill a couple minutes. Sir, there's nothing else I can do. I mean, we talked about everything, and I'm not gonna play a song. No, I can do one more read of the announcements. Remember, meetings for our dear Cardinal Radio are from 7 p.m. to about 8 p.m. Monday nights in the Alumni Lounge here at SVSU. Check out our Twitter at SVSU Radio and our Facebook page, Cardinal Radio. And the show tomorrow is Culture Shock, if you're into K-pop and J-pop and all the news from their respective countries. And then the Valley Nights movies, well, right now La La Land is currently in full swing next door. So tomorrow, Office Christmas Party is playing at 9 p.m. over there where Valley Nights is produced. It'll be a good time, I guess. I don't know very much about the movie. We have new members with new shows, so be sure to check the weekly calendar for anything new on cardinalradio.com and listen into a new show. Who knows? You might just find your new favorite thing to listen to on a weeknight. And then show of the week, who would we give it to? Tangents and Tangerines. Go on the site, check out their schedule, and go listen to them. And remember, the drag show is April 1st at 7 p.m. in the T-SAR. It's sure to be a fun time. Thank you all for listening to us once again. I really appreciate it. I know Matt and Alex really appreciate it. And we can't wait to see you again next week here on the dark side. Really, really awesome stuff. We can't wait or 2 weeks. Yeah, we got spring break. Can't wait to see you all again. All right. All right. Yep. We'll see you in 2 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Please spread the word. Tell your friends about us. Take them to the YouTube channel. Force them to watch the entire playlist of Season 1. The entire playlist is up. So be sure to check that out. And we'll see you next time on the side on Cardinal Radio. Keep it creepy, ladies and gentlemen.